Silverburst Reserve.
Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video I want to install some EMG pickups into my Dean ML over here. I bought one used, one new. They are both brushed. They are the 8581s. Now in my Flying V over here I do have the exact same ones. These are EMG X pickups, by the way. I want to put the brushed ones though into the Flying V if these are also the EMG Quick Connect system. I don't know if these were soldered on or if these are the Quick Connect. So first we're going to take a look at these pickups. If they are the Quick Connect, I'm going to swap in the brushed ones, and then I'm going to put the flat black ones here into the Dean if that's the case. Otherwise, the Dean will be getting the nice brushed pickups. Alright, so I've got the strings off the guitar. So make sure you have the tailpiece in your hand when you take the strings off because it will come loose. You don't want to scratch up your guitar. You can just set that aside. So here is the brushed cover of the EMG X pickup that I want to put into the guitar. I did take off the back plate and look, and this is also a plug-in type, so I just have to remove the connector and swap it over to this pickup. So the next thing I have to do is to unplug it here, and we see that the white connector is to the right and the red is to the left. And this should just pull off. EMG 81X and the new EMG 81X. Ooh, we have a 60. So we have like a James Hetfield here set up here with a 60 and the 81. So yeah, so I'm going to be putting a 60-81 into the Dean. Alright, onto the Dean. Now this one doesn't have a Floyd Rode, thank God. It just passes through the body here, the strings. So I'm going to undo all the strings from the headstock, passing through the body. And this string tailstop tie down here is pretty beat up. I don't like how it looks. I tried finding a matching one the right length. I couldn't really find one that really matched. So not wanting to get the wrong one and put more holes in the body, I'm going to paint this one black while it's off the guitar. So we'll do a flat black. It should match the EMGs going in there too. So I'm going to get the strings off of it and we'll come back with the pickups coming out. Alright, come back to the guitar here. Got all the strings off of it. And I've taken out the 3 screws holding in the string tailpiece here. And I bet it looks okay on the other side. Not so good. So I'm going to black this out. I'm also going to black out the control knobs. And I might even mask off the eyes. And I think about just painting the bridge, instead of trying to get a black bridge and then worrying about the posts. So I might just hit this with the black too and black all that out. And then I should probably do the plate as well. So I went ahead and also removed the jack cover here. And I'm going to get that out. There we go. So you can either unsolder everything or just cut the wires, whatever you want to do. Actually, let me rephrase that. If I was just doing this and not filming it, I would cut the wires. But since we're making a video, I'm going to unsolder it and show how to do it that way, in case you wanted to do it that way. So I got my soldering iron here. You can get one of these on Amazon. Check the description. I have links to a lot of the tools I use. And I'm going to heat that up to about 330 degrees. And your soldering iron might come with a number of different types of tips on it, different lengths and different widths. I'm going to use the fat one here. It's a little bit easier to heat up the solder quicker. If you have they do make smaller ones though that come with it, and you can put a different tip on. It's more of a point, and you can get into other areas. But I think if we work from one end to go towards the other, the wires will be removed and out of the way for us to proceed further. So it is up to heat now. So everything on top of the pots here is just for grounding. We'll take these off. Now you can also take pictures of your setup if you intend to return it back to normal someday. And you can get the original wiring back the way it was here. I don't know if this is original or not, but oh well. That's all I do. You heat up the solder, hold in the tip, and pull off the wires. The wires might get hot. You can grab a small pair of pliers and use those to tug on the wires as you heat up the wires. Be careful not to get too much solder on the iron too. It's good to use the brass on it to get that off, as well as a wet sponge to wipe it down. Just don't let the solder drip on the finish of the guitar, you know. I'm the guitar back over now, and I've gone ahead and loosened all of the screws on the pickup covers. I'm just setting them aside. Now with everything unsoldered, this should just pull right through. There we go. So in the bridge we had a G&B pickup. I'm not familiar with this brand. It just says pickup company. Maybe under the plate here when I unscrew it there's more writing on what this actually is. But we are going to reuse the pickup ring, so let's do the same now for the neck pickup. It should pull right through. There we go. And you see the white and gray wire come from the switch. So we are going to, and we see them here, they're routed through. Do the guitar there. So we're going to leave those there because we're going to reuse the wiring from the switch. So we also have to undo the nuts on the pots here. I have a 7/16 socket. I'm just going to loosen it up. See, they're a little bit too tall, so I'm going to go like this. There we go. That's probably all that's needed. So you're going to probably have to hold it now with just the socket here or on the back, and as you turn the socket. So I'm just holding the back side of the pot. I still have the back cover off of the guitar. There's a washer too, and that will now fall through. Be sure to take this opportunity to clean and polish the guitar and do the neck as well. Alright, so I have my neck pickup here, and it shows in the instructions to hold it oriented this way. And note the arrow on the tip of the connector here, that has to be facing up. So you see it, there's no arrow on the back side, and that will plug in like that to the neck pickup. So that's going to go in this way into the guitar. So we're going to route the wires through, and then I'm going to mount the pickup to the guitar. So all I got to do is to get the wires through the guitar is to start following the channel, the path here, the routing, and feed them through. They're pretty stiff, so they'll get their way through. There we go. Start seeing it. Might want to get a pair of tweezers. You can help it along as well. You can't reach it with your fingers in there. Alright, so I have the neck pickup installed now. But before I install the bridge pickup, I am going to turn the guitar over, and I'm going to use a piece of tape to mark that this here is the neck pickup. So I put some tape over the one for the neck pickup, so now you know. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with the bridge pickup, just run it through the body. Alright, so take note of the orientation of the pickup cover here. There is a slant to it, so the slant should go up towards the back of the guitar. And once you get all the wiring through, you'll be able to screws back in, and we'll begin installation of the pots. It comes with 2 nuts for each post, or each pot, and you're going to wind the nut down and check the depth of it as it comes through the body on the other side. And you're going to get to a place where you are happy with it. I got it right about here. I think that looks good, because we still have to screw it down on the top actually, so for mine, it looks like I don't need the nut there at all. We're going to go all the way down forward because we want some thread on top for it to actually be able to lock in. So if you don't need the extra nut, you can just set that aside. And you're going to want to put the locking washer on first. Like here, goes on there like that. And now we'll put this through. Okay, so now I'm holding the pot up from behind the guitar with my one hand. I'm going to take one of the washers, put that down, and now I'll put the nut on top of it and hand tighten that into place. Yay, finally. There we go. And hand tight is fine for now. Do all 3. Take note, the volume ones are marked volume in the upper right corner. The tone one has, I don't see a tone marker on it, but the tone one is the one that is not marked as volume. So I'm taking the black wire from the battery plug and I'm feeding that through to the output jack. The hole on the other side, it just barely makes it over there. I might want to make an extension for this. So it does say in the instructions that for some models you may need to still solder, and in this case we do. The only reason we have to do this is because where the hole is for the jack over here, it's basically the length of the wire, and we need a little bit extra to go that far. So I bought my pickups separately from each other. I don't know if this is the case if you buy them together, but I have an extra battery plug. And there's also another wire that goes to the input jack, and it's this long as well, and it needs to be extended. And because I bought two of them separate, I have two of the same wire. So what I'm going to do is just going to cut off the end on one and the end on the other, solder them together, and we'll have double the length, and we can complete the install. I'm going to do that for these two wires and for the black wire on the battery plug. Let's go over to the workbench and get them soldered. Alright, so I'm going to take one of the battery plugs and we're going to cut it off at the head here. There we go. And on the one we are going to use, I am going to cut off the actual metal clip adapter. There we go. And now we just strip that wire. You can find links to tools in the description on my Amazon page. You can get all the stuff I'm using. There we go. And now, all we have to do is, I'm going to twist these together going lengthwise. But before we do that too, we're going to throw on some heat shielding before I forget. Always critical, always put your heat shielding on first. So we're going to put that over one of the ends of the wire. And just let that go down. And now I did strip off some more bare wire. It's a little bit more, it makes it easier to twist these together. So I'll just wrap them around each other. Okay, so there's our joint. I have some flux here. I'm just going to apply some flux to the wire. And all the flux does is it helps the solder flow across the wire. And you'll see that here in a second when we touch the solder to it. So turn the soldering iron on. I got about 330 degrees. And now with that heated up, I'm going to put a little bit of solder on it. Just like that. Don't breathe that. You can blow it away. And just touch it to the joint. And because of the flux, it coated the whole wire. Beautiful. Last thing to do now is to bring the heat shielding back over the joint we just made. And with the part of the iron here, just melt the heat shrink around the joint. And there we go. Now let's do the same thing for the other two wires. We have these two wires here now. We're going to make these double the length. So once again, we are going to cut off opposite ends on the two. So we'll snip off the connector here, right into the flux, and we'll snip off the two leads. Just like before, we're going to strip off both wires again. Go. Same on the other one. Add heat shrink to both wires. Now twist both wires together. I would just do one at a time. Don't try and twist both without soldering the one because they'll just come undone on you. Twist them together. Add some flux. Get a little solder. Touch the wire. And finally, put the heat shrink over the wire, the joint. Just touch it with the side of the iron. There we go, our extended wire. Now let's go install them into the guitar. The output jack needs the extended black wire from the battery clip and the extended power wire as well, and the extended wire here that we made as well. So it's easier to fish the wire through from the hole underneath. And I'm just going to immediately send it this way through the guitar, and we should see it pop out over here. There it is. Now that's the length of the wire where it was when I was trying to do this before. And now because we extended it, we have all this extra wire now. great. This one has to go in from the other way. I know you can't see this, but I'm just pulling the wire through the hole there. There we go. Beautiful. So now we can install the input jack. So looking down at the input jack like this, the two posts here on the right side, the first post here gets the single wire from the battery terminal, which is the black wire. The next post preceding it, the one in the middle, gets the black wire from the adapter we ran through. And finally, the bottom post gets the white wire. And now we can send all this back through. Now these are pretty long on this guitar, so I'm going to bend these back a little bit. Like so. And in. Just to help them make sure we got enough room in there to get that all the way down. There we go. Something like that. Then we're going to bolt this now to the plate cover. But that's going to go on like that. And that. And with that. So I might leave these chrome. Kind of look how that looks. So I have a 1/2 inch socket here. I'm going to pick this up off the guitar so it doesn't scratch it, and we're going to tighten this down. There we go. Now feed this in. We can screw that down. Alright, so starting with the other end of the battery attachment, and it has the red plug here. It's just going to go to any slot on the red bus. It's just a shared bus, so anything that plugs into the red bus will get power from this wire. And we're just going to plug that in right there. Starting with my tone pot here. Yours might be in a different orientation, but I'm on the tone pot. We have this red bare wire, and this is to give power to that potentiometer. So with the arrow pointing up, we're going to plug that in to the bottom pin on the pot here. There we go. And that is going to go into the red bus, power bus as well. And the power bus, it does not matter which way the wires face. Continuing on now, we have the other two wires from the input jack here. We're going to have the arrow up, and it is also going to go on the tone pot right next to the red wire here. Arrow facing up. And it should look like that on the tone pot. And finally, for the tone pot, we have the other wire adapter here. But for this one, we are going to flip it over and install it arrow side down. That's because these are the EMG X series, and you have to reverse the wires, and this is how it pulls off the trick of having, like, it's running a dual 9-volt system here. Like that. That end is going to go into the output label of the jack here with the arrow side up. Like that. The next adapter here, wire, is going to go from the neck input here, so arrow side up into the neck, like that. And this is going to go into our neck volume knob. Now I want my bridge one to be first, so I'm putting the neck one in the middle, which is where I'm going to connect this one here. And it is going to go arrow side up Make sure I have it orientated correctly. You want it needs to be upside down as you see it this way. So the word volume is at the bottom of the pot here. It shows it the same way in the diagram. Arrow side up, like that. There's the arrow, onto the top 2 pins. And for the second 2 pins, we are going to take our neck pickup leads, which were the ones that I taped here. Here they are. And now with the arrow side up again, this is going to go into the middle, next 2 ones down on my neck potentiometer. So there we go. The red wire from the neck pickup goes into the red feed on the controller here. So it has power from the 9-volt. And now finally with the pickups, we go on to the bridge pickup here. I am going to put the red lead into the power bus. And now for our bridge pickup leads here coming in through the guitar, we are going to put the red wire into the power bus over here. There we go. And these 2 leads, arrow side up, into the middle 2 leads on the bridge potentiometer here. Now I've turned it. It's still going to be arrow side up, but the middle 2 pins. So actually you have 2 pins exposed on the bottom and 2 pins exposed on the top. With this final adapter here, arrow side up, it's going to go onto the top 2 pins I have over here. Notice the word volume is upside down. There we go. And I take the 2 leads over here and put them into the bridge port. Like that. Looking at the instructions here, the wire in the middle of the switch that has the 4 posts, the wire coming out of there is the output. And on my setup, that is the white wire here inside the gray insulated wire here. The other one here is a ground. So what we're going to do is we're going to strip this wire off. Like that. And it is going to go into the top screw of the gray housing on the circuit board. And I need a small Phillips head. So you see there's these holes in here. The wire goes in there, and then you turn it, and it will crimp down on it. Nice and good. From the same picture here, the wire going towards the top of those 3. So if I'm looking at my guitar over here, the wire on top is still the red one for my guitar. So the red wire here is my neck pickup. The neck pickup is going to be screwed into the second port here on the bridge. There we go. And finally, the last wire for mine is the bridge wire, which according to the diagram is the white wire that came through with the red right here. This other one here is another ground. And that's going to go into the bottom hole here on the board. And that's going to get screwed in. There we go. That leaves us with 3 ground wires, the 2 off the 2 wires, and this extra black one over here. So I'm going to put the bridge wire, the bridge ground here, along with the wire off of the one that came from the neck pickup here, the 2 grounds. And I'm going to put those into the same wire slot here. And give that one a little bit more wire. You could actually put all 3 wires together if you wanted, but I don't know if the one hole here is big enough for all 3 of them to go in. Tie down that ground. No, I didn't even get it. Alright, I got this time. Feels okay. And the last ground here, I will put into the final ground slot we got. Alright, now we gotta fit all this in along with the battery. Alright, I'm gonna undo the sticky back here on the Velcro, and we're gonna somehow fit this down, and it should stick to the inside of the cavity like that. There we go. And now for all these wires everywhere, I'm trying to leave a spot for the battery here if I can. All of these wires, we now need to just shove them down the side here. You can also twist tie these, and probably cut some of them down if you wanted to. But and now for the battery, I wrapped it in black electrical tape. It says in the instructions it came with a sponge, but I didn't see it on this one. I've seen it on other guitars. There we go. And now, so that's the best I could do without altering the guitar as far as using a 9-volt battery in there. It looks like garbage. I'm going to think about what to do with this. Maybe give someone make a 3D printed plate here that comes up a little bit and down. Might be real easy to do. You have a little area for the battery, or I could even cut out something here on the plate. Alright, so get my mask off and my glasses here. But yeah, cutting through this here with my Dremel, I marked off the diameter here, a rough outline of where it would fit on, where the battery was pushing up from. So I'm going to cut off the last little bit here, and I'll knock out this window. And then I can come in here with a file or whatever and just true up the line. This is the back side of it. This is the front side of the plate. And what I'm going to do is, when we're all done here, but I'm not worried about how it looks right now, because I'm going to show you an easy way to clean that up. So this is a rat tail file. So there we go. I got it fitted in there, and I left some room for the connector at the top of it. So I'm going to show you now how to put this on the guitar and to clean it up. Again, this is the back side of it. Let's go to the other side. I put it in some paper here to protect it in the vise. Here's the front side, so it's going to look like this on the guitar. And we're going to wrap it now in some black electrical tape with it on there, and we'll hold it in place, and we'll look just like black tape. Alright, so we got our hole cut out here for the battery, and now to make it look nice, I got some Gorilla Tape here. It's just black tape. It is the 1.88 inch wide one, and it is wider than our piece. And we're just going to lay a piece of black tape over this with the battery there, and we'll stick to that as well. And then just fold the lips under the cover, and we should have a black surface with a little mound in the center. Alright, so I've cut a length here, a little bit bigger than the cover. Gonna line that up. I'm gonna take this. Okay, to keep that lined up, I'm gonna push this down over it. Pull it up. Now roll over the edges. And there we go. Not too bad. You can also take an X-Acto knife and go around the edge. Just go around it and trim it up. I think that worked a little bit better. It looks pretty good. Better than the way it was before with it bulging out and everything and laying flat. And the duct tape's helping the little plastic panel actually stick closer to the body too. And it has a little bit of flex area for the battery. It looks really nice. So I'm going to put the switchblade cover back on and we'll continue on. So here's a pro tip for you. I couldn't tell which pickup was with which pod here because it wasn't operating the way I had wired it. Turns out my switch had gotten spun around. So even though I'm on the neck position, I'm hearing the bridge pickup confirmed by the pod that I wired to be the bridge volume. I simply just removed the neck one to prove that. So I need to spin my switch here 180 degrees so that this position is down and it's for my bridge pickup. Hope that helps you. Alright, so let's test everything out here. I have it on the neck pickup. And I did mine so my neck pickup was in the back. And got volume control. And we'll try the tone. It's brighter, working good. Do the bridge pickup. Working good. Volume works. Tone. Air change as well. And of course you're here because of the distortion. Why else would you put an EMG in the guitar? Working good. So there it is, all done, all blacked out with the hardware. I will be getting rid of the skull knobs here. I ordered some speed knobs, and we're going to Dimebag them. I'm going to show a video on that, how to do those up. And then eventually I will get an actual black bridge versus the one I painted here. It's already starting to come off, obviously. There's so much sweat and everything, and it's going to rub off. But so I'm going to get a real black ABR bridge. So all the screws were blacked out, all of the hardware. It looks really nice. I like it. The plate here, I left the input jack chrome, as well as the bottom of the switch toggle here, and it looks a lot better. Here's a before and after of the guitar. You can see the difference. Let me know in the comments which one looks better, with the chrome or with the black hardware. But yeah, it works great, as you saw there, with everything I wired and tuned it all up, and it sounds just amazing. So I hope this video helped you out. If you got any questions, please leave me a comment. I hope I can help. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and keep on jamming.